Alright, Royal Tiger Double Down gun number 2. Now this one here is in a lot better shape. I believe it has an original stock on it. And, you know, all the screws are present. There's screws. Even up here, it's the screw, not a nail. Has the original hardware, I can tell. And we'll get this thing apart and take a look at it. But before I go any further, I would like to give a shout out to I've mentioned several other YouTube channels out there. But the two I want to mention here, one is Texas Cast and Blast, because a point I'm going to make here, he kind of gave me the evidence, or you know, maybe it's policy. Thing with Texas Cast and Blast is he ordered 2 of the Austrian 1890 rifles. He ordered 2. And one he got was, the bore was shot out, and the other one he got was fairly good. And ended up making a video shooting a wild hog with it. And the other fellow I want to give a shout out to, even though he doesn't fool with these old rifles like this, is PA Gun Guy. And because I give him credit, he makes a lot of videos, he tells the truth, and he's been Royal Tigered more than once. Okay, so let's get on with it. Alright, I'm going to take this one apart. Now, outwardly, all the screws look fairly good in this. Okay, this one does have, it looks like an actual stock. Has the stamping in there, and there's one crack in it. And it does have the correct 10.4 millimeter bolt. Alright, I'm going to get her apart, and then we'll take a closer look at it, and I will give my assessment. Okay, gun number 2. Totally different story. This gun is fairly correct. It has the correct bolt in good shape. The firing pin. The stock is correct. Okay, when you look into the inside, you can see this is the correct stock and how it should be for this TS rifle. And it has the proper thing on there which mounted that allowed me to get the trigger guard off. The screws are in good shape and everything else. Now I was quite surprised, and then again when you guys asked me why, you know, I buy these things and that, something I noticed is this rear ski ramp, whatever it is, this rear part of the receiver, I thought the pin was missing again. But if you look at this and compare it to the others, there is no hole for a tapered pin. There isn't one. This thing hooks into the stock and the receiver. The notch is not there, and the hole is not in there. So this is something I have to look up and reference. That it, you know, this is a 2-piece thing. This hooks in there, and there is no tapered pin. It wasn't cut for it. Okay, the rear sight, I believe, is for a 6.5 sight. I have to go check the sights. And then here we have a clear view without having to chalk it of what was written. This has a nice scribe on there in Ethiopian. So the sight may be incorrect. The stock is correct. All the screws, nothing's stripped out, everything's good, the barrel band is good. As far as the overall condition of the barrel, and I did check it, the receiver isn't loose. There's really no pitting, some rust. The other gun had a little pitting under the wood line. This didn't. The unusual thing there, the only issue I see is this rear end. I don't know, it's loose. I don't know if it's cracked or pinned on there. I have to be delicate with it. I'm going to clean it. That's about the only thing that may be wrong with the gun, is that little cracked back end there. But the stock, butt plate, everything else is good. And like I said, the only downer about this gun is the bore has some pitting and corrosion from corrosive ammo and that. But actually, this is a nice gun. Actually, well, it's about on par with the first one I got, but the first one has a fantastic bore. It's a shame. I mean, this gun is very good looking. If it had a perfect bore on it, it would be, you know, a home run. The bore isn't that great, but this gun is in good shape. This is a good example of a gun, and it is well worth the $500. I'm going to tell you now before I even clean it. This one is worth it. And the reason I mentioned Texas Cast and Blast, like I said, it appears like when you buy two guns, they send you like a real good one, and then they send you a Bowser with it, you know, which is what this deal was. This one here is fairly good and worth $500. The other one, when I doubled up, not so. Okay, not quite. So I'm going to get her cleaned up, and then I'll give you my assessment of this. Double down rifle number 2. Okay, though there are some issues with it, and it's not, in my opinion, it's not as nice as the first one. Okay, it's in good shape. You know, the finish is gone, the markings are kind of worn. I don't know about the sight and the little where the magazine is, where it's cracked or broken, okay, and a crack in the stock. But other than that, the screws are all there. You know, they're not damaged. They're not, you know, there's no nails where there should be screws. And there's a crack here. But other than that, and the bore. Okay, the bore is not, the first one I got, the bore is super nice. I mean, whatever little inclusions were in there after I fired 8 rounds through there, it knocked them out. This one here, the bore isn't as good, but shooting it may improve it. You know, getting a bullet down there may knock out some of the stuff if I spray some Volatol or something in there to soften up the rust and let it sit for a while, and then clean it out real good. Sometimes even a lead bullet will knock some of that crud out. So this one here, I'm going to say in the condition it's in, you know, a few small defects, it's worth $500. So if you're lucky enough to get one like this, it's worth it, okay? Because like I said, these are hard to find guns. And this is a pretty good, solid example of fitting your collection with a difficult to find piece, okay? And, you know, in the videos I mentioned several other channels out there, but if anyone else has bought one of these 9 guns and has any experience, even if you don't want to make a video, you can just leave a comment, you know, what it come down to. And what I've ended up with is 2 pieces. One I paid a lot for, one I kind of paid fair. 2 pieces that I'll keep in my collection. There are variations, and I will go eventually making videos and discuss these variations into the guns. Like this one here does not have a pin going through that rear part of the you know, receiver. Most of them do. This one's not cut for it, so I don't know if this is an earlier conversion or what. 1880 is the date on the barrel. So it may just be a variation, or maybe something that got overlooked when it was done. So that's my story. As for Royal Tiger, I mean, it's the same old story. A lot of people probably won't buy a damn thing from them. They do get some rare guns in there, but the prices are even rarer. Like I was tempted to get one of them Dutch single shot rifles, but they're $1,300. For a gun, it's really a $700 gun, even though it's got the coat of arms on it and everything, which makes it special. You know, the condition they send these things in, if I could go and physically look at them, you know, and check them out, maybe I'd buy one. And they did have several other guns that were extremely rare. Those Kropatschek style French naval rifles that were in the Gra 11mm Gra. Those are super rare guns, and them guns were not as in good a shape as this one, okay, and they're wanting $3,500 for them, but one of them. They had two of them on an auction that both of them went up over $2,000, and then, you know, I don't know. These things are so rare and hardly seen, and they were not in pristine condition. There was issues with the wood, mechanical issues, which you're never going to find the parts when they only made like 25,000 of them. You're never going to find those spare parts, okay? So, you guys, take away from this what you will. My little mad minute there. My double down on Royal Tiger. And, you know, I gave you my honest opinion. I hope you guys enjoyed the videos. And I will do more work with these guns and maybe get out and shoot them and talk about the variations. Now that I have some examples, I have variations in these guns also that I can discuss. Alright, so stay tuned.